Brothers and sisters, Mrs. and Misters, trendsetters and gift getters, today's episode of the Dented Cast, the G word. What is it, Max?
Let's do gratitude, Dobie.
How about it? Are you thankful today?
Yeah, I'm really thankful. I start every day with an entry in a gratitude journal. You're welcome. So that was odd.
Somebody said you're welcome.
It was Siri.
Yeah, Siri, watch. Thank you. You're welcome. You're so gratitude. Your hardware's talking to you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The steel plate in my head said good morning.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, I start every day with entry in my gratitude journal every single day. Mm-hmm. And most of the time it's to God.
Okay.
Which we'll get into in another episode.
That's another G word. We won't talk about that today. When did you start doing said gratitude journal? Interesting to me.
This time around.
Mm-hmm. When's the first one you did?
In the 90s, late 90s.
Okay. My
son who's now 25, was a year or 2 years old. And I stopped. I just started again in the end of 2019.
All right.
I love it. I can't function without it.
Okay. How long are these entries? I've never heard anybody
3
do
pages, handwritten.
In the morning?
In the morning, 5 o'clock.
What you're thankful for?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of it. You know, if something's troubling me, I'll write it out. Mm-hmm. What's bugging me about, a person or a situation, I'll write that out. But it always turns into thankfulness. And sometimes it'll go 5 pages, handwritten.
Cool.
I'm writing it to God, though.
That's fine.
Help me with this.
Wait, can't get his email? Gman1 at AOL. The right. Big guy at Gmail.
Of course.
Capital Gmail.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's got to be Gmail, not AOL. So, yeah, exactly. That's the dark one, AOL. So, yeah.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because I think gratitude is one of the few things that I happen to be good at. And before we do these episodes, believe it or not, we do prepare because our radio boss years ago, who may or may not be watching, said you got to have a beginning and a middle and an end. And then it's like Charlie Brown's teacher after a while. And
he was right.
He was totally right. And if you're watching, you were. At the time, we were young buck, big radio stars, but he was totally correct. But I think with this thing, too, I am grateful every single day, as you are, because we didn't have shit as a kid. And I was raised by my grandparents, and they lived through the Great Depression, which meant in the 70s when I was a child, I had to live through the Great Depression, and I had out-of-style clothes and nothing with a brand name on it ever. You used to talk about you never had an Oreo. What kind of cookies did you have?
I think we got, there was Oreos on special occasions, but didn't we have Hydrox? Hydrox, yeah. So,
yes, because they were 4 cents a metric ton cheaper than an Oreo. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure they're made out of pig lard and the same stuff they make hot dogs out of. They just shape it into a cookie.
Add a little sugar.
A little bit of sugar, and that's what you had to eat. And I think that, you hate about it. I talk about it in my comedy shows. People say, that's so funny. But when you're a kid, that kind of stuff is not funny. When you're at school and your clothes are out of style, you don't have the right shoes or pants or haircut or whatever it is. And another thing that did it for me was I had a car accident when I had my it was the week of my 30th birthday, and just a whole life got upside down. And they said, we don't know if you're going to live through this. And I was in intensive care. And I said, if I live through this every morning, I'm going to start off, I have to hear myself say, thank you. And I don't know if it's to the universe.
I was going to say, who are you saying that to exactly? We're going to get into that in God, because I think that's an interesting... That what you just said is very interesting to me.
And I don't know, to the universe, to who's ever in charge, maybe it is God, and I don't know it. We'll talk about that later. But I know that I need to hear my own voice. I can't just say it in my head. Think it. Thank you. So if I'm around somebody, thank you for this. And I'll say things that I'm thankful for, and I like the idea that you write it down. But sunshine. My car started. I've had so many shitbox cars in my life, Max. It's amazing to me. Comics just laugh. I got a Dobie car the other day, and every time my car starts, even if it's a rental car, thank you. There's just a little burst of gratitude that goes. I know that sounds corny and sappy. Every day is Thanksgiving in my life, and of all the things that I've been through, I'm not trying to sound like Gandhi, but that's one thing I've learned to master is being grateful for. A pretty girl talks to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really mean it.
Right.
And I think sometimes I don't know if people go that route enough. Yeah, okay, maybe 99% of your life is shit, but there's one peanut somewhere. And I know, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You like Joel Osteen. I think he's a snake bastard.
I know you do.
I don't want to argue about that. If he works for you, that's great. He works for millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the message that he, you know.
That's billions. Anyway, go ahead.
Is it billions? Oh, millions, billions. He's a popular cat.
No.
I mean,
I'm joking.
his church is an arena where they used to play professional basketball. Yeah, right. That's pretty impressive. So maybe I should change my thinking.
No. We'll get into that in the God. That's coming up.
That's coming up. But for this one, as corny and sappy as it sounds, and all the misery that goes through, if you train your mind, I've been packing my stuff. I've been packing my head for years with as much goodness as I feel right. I tend not to listen to the radio, especially the news, because it angers me. But as a comedian for my whole life, I've been long car trips. Most people have to drive 30 to 45 minutes to work an 8 to 10 hour shift. I've had to drive 8 to 10 hours to work a 30 to 45 minute shift. So there's times when I listen to Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer, and you talk about all those people, and some you like and some you don't. But I just want to pack my head with good things, and gratitude is one of those things that I think you have to train your mind to do it. But once you do, it's the first thing you look at. And when the worst things happen, well, what am I thankful for? I still have use of my legs. I can still see. You know, I hate to say it. Every time I see somebody in a wheelchair, every time I see somebody that's, you know, you get a little off, it's like, you know, they're for the grace of somebody that's not there. Supposed to be there for the grace of God.
Right.
There for the grace of whatever. I don't have that.
Right.
And that really gets me through a lot. Does it get through? I mean, I'm glad that we brought this up. We decided to even do an episode about it.
Well, I would be grateful and show gratitude for disc 5 of the Wayne Dyer program you gave me.
Which I brought with me today, as a matter of fact. Max and I trade stuff off. And it's funny because there was one I really liked, and it's called Excuses Be Gone. And I'll plug it right now.
And gratitude's a big part of that, by the way.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because Max said, I've been listening to it on work. I like it. And I was going through my stuff. I said, ooh, disc 5. Max probably wants this. Yeah, I did bring it today for you.
Good.
And I'm glad, I'm grateful that you even asked me for it, and I'm even more grateful that I found it.
Yeah, well, thank you. So there's gratitude at a much deeper level right there. So, you know, I got a couple of things. One, you mentioned Tony Robbins' name. Mm-hmm. Tony Robbins, and I don't know, according to Solomon in the Bible, nothing's new under the sun, right?
Correct.
Okay, so... But Tony Robbins said that you cannot be fearful and angry and be grateful simultaneously. Meaning that when you're truly grateful, it's hard to be angry. It's hard to be afraid when you're truly grateful. There's a lot to that. So
what if you're grateful for your anger? I'm pissed off and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, then you're believing your own bullshit at that point, I think. So
that's one thing I don't do, but okay.
You know, if you accept yourself, which we have a hard time doing, I think all dented cans have a hard time accepting themselves, because for a dented can, I think you can be in a room full of people and feel like you don't belong there, no matter what room it's in. You know, maybe on stage with comedians, you feel like you belong. I don't know.
No, sometimes. I think it's so funny because off the air, we talk about episodes. Max is like, "Oh, you were great. I sucked," and I'm like, "Oh, Max, you were great, and I sucked." So, and I think that's part of it. And it's again, like, gratitude has been ingrained in me because I chose to do it, and you are doing it as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the other part of the inferiority, whatever you want to say, that's been ingrained too. Whether it's been by somebody else, we have accepted it. Mm-hmm. And to choose to unaccept it, there's some deep grooves there. Mm-hmm. And to back off of that, dude, it's really hard.
It is. It is.
But do you think it's doable? I do.
I know it's doable. I'm living it. You know, being truly grateful for my health.
Yes.
You know, guys, I mean, even our age, we're in that age where, like, a couple of them are plucking off, you know?
Yeah.
The herd's thinning, so to speak, right?
Well, yeah.
Not
the right ones,
right.
Sadly.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a list. I think you do too.
Right.
Number 12,
yes.
Max Baumgartner.
Right. Yeah. We joke about that all the time, but laughter. I'm grateful for that.
I really think too, and the best things in life are free. Here's something: if you can't be grateful, maybe you had a divorce and your ex crapped on you, and all these things that they're legitimate, and you got in a bicycle accident and you bit your tongue off and you can't talk, you talk like Elmer Fudd, or whatever your problem is. You know what I mean? Here's what I do. I go to thrift stores and rummage sales religiously. Even if I had $1 billion, I would still do that because it's the treasure hunt.
And you'd still drive a piece of shit car.
Yes, I would.
So you could be grateful that it started when you could just go replace it. Nope, that doesn't work in your mind. You've got to have a piece of shit car.
And my license plate would be POSHT.
Right.
It would be the most expensive license plate on the biggest piece of shit car. And I would give you the Rolls Royce, and I would have more gratitude.
They're too slow. I don't want a Rolls
Whatever
Royce.
you want. Corvette. You want a Corvette.
Yeah.
If
So,
you have any sugar daddies that want to contribute to the show, Max wants a Corvette. I get him Hot Wheel cars all the time, Corvettes, but he wants a real one. No. Like you get McDonald's toys or just a little back there, and you go up to a kid with their parents around. I'm not just saying go to a playground. Hey, kid, you want a toy? But just a kid, and you say, you know what? I was told to give this to the next kid I see, and you're the next kid I see, and I want you to have this. I got a bag of 5 Hot Wheel cars or little McDonald's toys for a little girl, and I do it in front of the parents, nothing like. And the look of pure elation, absolutely unbridled, is the word, joy, exuberance,
Gratitude.
It is, well, whether it's gratitude or not, it gives me gratitude to see it.
Right.
Because a kid's emotions are
pure
and unchecked.
Right.
Just like the bad ones are. That's why it hurts so badly when we get scorched.
Right.
It's because daddy, mommy, love us, universe, God, here we are. Smack, 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 smack. But to give a little kid something and watch that, to me, it fuels my soul and makes me even more grateful when things don't go well.
Right.
Little tip that might help you, but it sure helps me. I'll never get sick of doing that.
Right. Yeah.
I happen to wear glasses. I don't wear them on stage or on here. But whenever I see a little kid with glasses, I walk up to him right in front of their parents. You know why I like you? Because you wear glasses, and all the cool kids wear glasses.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell anybody. And you could just see, oh my gosh, and their parents are like, thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Because a lot of times we're the only one, and there's 4 kids there, and only one of them's got the big old, Mr. Magoo's.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And I think little things like that to train yourself. It doesn't cost a penny. And yes, we hurt and we have pain, but to bring joy to others does take the pain away. That's the theory of why a clown or a comedian or an entertainer or even a musician or an actor, it relieves your own pain. But man, it does everybody good. So many people are so focused on your own thing, and that's not the way to do it.
I think I spent a lot of time as a dented can, like our time at the Loop in Chicago, which Jesus won, by the way, Dobie. The Loop is no more.
Yeah, we can plug it all we want to because it's not on the air anymore.
Right.
But for a long time, for many decades, it was one of the biggest radio stations in America,
well,
rock stations.
Well, and I got to tell you, I'm grateful for our time there. I know it's easy to focus on what happened, and then we had a great ratings book after we were already out of the building. But I'm grateful for our time there, because we got to meet. So
we got to meet. We got a chance to play in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when your dream comes true, you don't see all the crap that goes along with it.
I guess what my point is in those moments, I think a lot of us, especially dented cans, don't know how to get in touch with their gratefulness. They're not grateful for what's happening around them. Like where you work doesn't owe you anything. They don't owe you, especially if it's a small business. They started that small business with sweat and determination. And you're in the liability column if you're not actually putting something in the bucket. And so I'm very grateful for my job. It's not what I set out to do, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful to the owners that I have a chance to make a living doing that stuff. I really am. And I wasn't. Even 10 years ago, I felt like wherever I worked, they owed me. Well, you owe me, I don't feel that way anymore. There's been a big shift. I credit God. He's a big beard in the sky for you, in a cloud. You're not necessarily tuned into that on the same frequency, and that's okay. But I also credit other people around me And if I look back all the way through as a kid, and I'm saying this not because it's about me, but I think everybody could relate to this. There are people in your life that if you really focus on gratitude, you, for instance, when the bottom dropped out in your household, your mom left you when you were 5 months old. Your dad couldn't do it. You were almost going to be put into foster care at the time.
That was the plan.
But your grandparents stepped in.
Yep.
So I know you have gratitude for them, even though that wasn't easy for you.
Well, Grandma
You know?
was not, but Gramps was the one.
But I mean,
He
isn't
was the
that
golden
tremendous
child.
gratitude, though?
Absolutely, every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And he's been gone longer than I had him.
Uh-huh.
I think about him every day. Chance when I get up in the morning and say thank you, Gramps' thought will come in the next few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if we look back through our lives, there's always things to be grateful for. But especially right now, still in the pandemic, that we have a place to live, you know, that we're not going hungry, that we have power. I mean, we don't even here in America, we don't think about every single day the power works. Every day. Sure, there's, storms or problems or whatever where an anomaly or it won't work for a day. But the plumbing works every day. The street lights every day. The infrastructure works, right? For the most part. That's not the case everywhere in the world. That's just not the case. Go live somewhere else. The whole grid's down, or it's chaos, that's lawlessness, it's stuff like that. So I'm grateful for America, and I know we got a lot of problems here, but I'm still grateful for it. So I mean, I go all the way to that, especially when I'm starting to feel angry about something. It's easier for me to focus on something I'm grateful for at this point in my life. I don't know if that even makes any sense to anyone.
No,
but
it makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
and I think it's a matter of training yourself.
Yeah.
And what does it say? It's 21 days to create a new habit. I don't even think it's that long. If you really look for it, it's there. So that's the reason we wanted to do an episode, and I'm glad we did, because I learned something from you. I like the idea of writing it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about giving other people credit, saying thank you? Are you big on that?
Sure. Oh, are you kidding me? I had a Facebook group about comedians, aspiring comedians, because when I started out, that's one of the hardest things. I can't think of anything harder. Brain surgeon, it's hard, but being a comedian night after night, and it's very difficult. And the few people that helped me never got famous. They weren't rich. A couple of them died young. And I always pay tribute to them. I pay tribute to other people's birthday. I am huge on that. Yes. Who are some people in your life that you want to thank right now?
Right now?
Right now.
Oh my gosh, my wife, my children, my friends, my employers, my clients, the viewers of this channel, both of you, thank you so much.
Next time you can come in the same car.
So
One computer is watching.
I mean, it goes on and on. God, very much God. We'll get into that. Very much, very much. So, I mean, there's a ton of people. And I probably should sit down and make contact with people. I mean, I did this several years ago at Christmas time. Probably when we were at the Loop. It was when we were in Chicago. And I sat down and wrote a letter, not the typical Christmas letter of, our family, and this you got the best Pinewood Derby car and Boy Scouts, all that's none of that. But it was to a bunch of people that had made an impact in my life, and I sent them a handwritten thank you. Never heard back from any of them. But
sneeze,
Yeah.
wipe, flick.
right. But
My gum?
yeah. But there's right. There's just been different times in my life where I focused on gratitude.
Don't think every one of those people don't have that handwritten note somewhere in their box of important papers. I bet every one of them does. They may not have acknowledged you.
Yeah.
They've got it.
Well, maybe,
No, not
So,
maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't get one, but that's okay.
What?
Joke.
I think also,
I got an occupant.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You may already be one of Max's 10 million friends.
Right. Yeah.
The Baumgartner Clearinghouse.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think though, when you get in touch with gratefulness, gratitude, that you feel better, you sleep better, you laugh harder, you love longer.
Yeah, and it changes your focus.
Right.
So if you want to, get focused.
Right.
Go focus yourself.
Yeah.
Focus you.
Seriously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we could all be grateful for, but if you're struggling as a dented can, for me personally, that's the single biggest thing that has changed my life. Gratitude.
And the single easiest thing that
Second, to
sorry.
God.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And I also think that it's something that's easy to start immediately right now, no matter how things get. The times I've been in the hospital, and we'll tell the story on another episode to hopefully keep you watching. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I thought I was going to lose my testicles. Testicles are a very funny word until they're yours, and you're going to have to get them chopped off because I had gangrene on my testicles.
Oh.
Another episode. Look, go through the gangrene on Dobie's testicles. That's going to be a keeper. But I was laying in the hospital thinking, snipola, I was going to lose my junk. And I started thinking what I was going to be grateful for, and it kept my mind off. That's the only reason I got sleep that night. So if I can do it, you can do it too.
Wow. So on behalf of the gelding and myself, thank you. We're grateful for you on this channel. Please like if you would, subscribe if you would. That'd be fantastic. Get a couple of your dented can friends to do the same.
And we're going to keep doing this, whether you like it or not.